Today I am going to explain you the story of the two gentlemen of Verona from literature reader of 10th CBSE. The author of the story is A.J. Cronin, and we'll see the storylines. As we drove through the foothills of the Alps, two small boys stopped us on the outskirts of Verona. Here A.J. Cronin is the author who is narrating us the story. Who is narrating the story? A.J. Cronin. So he says, as they drove, means he is traveling to a place. When he is traveling on the foothills of the Alps, two small boys, they stopped them in a place named Verona, and this Verona place is in Italy. Verona is in Italy. They were selling wild strawberries. The two boys, why they have stopped the author as they are selling wild strawberries. They stopped the author and they requested the author to buy their fruits. Immediately, don't buy, warned Luigi. So, immediately a person named Luigi warned the author not to buy the wild strawberries. Our cautious driver. Luigi is the driver of the author. Luigi is the driver of the author. You will get fruit much better in Verona besides these boys. So Luigi suggested the author not to buy the wild strawberries of these two boys and suggested the author telling that they will get better strawberries in the city. He shrugged his shoulders to convey his disapproval of their shabby appearance. Why this driver Luigi advised the author not to buy the wild strawberries, seeing the appearance of the two boys. As the two boys' appearance is not good, he advised the author not to buy the wild strawberries. One boy had on a worn jersey and cut-off khaki pants. The other a shortened army tunic gathered in loose folds about his skinny frame. Here the author is explaining about the dressing style and the appearance of the two boys. Gazing at the two little figures with their brown skins, tangled hair and dark earnest eyes, we felt ourselves strangely attracted. Looking at the eyes and the appearance of the boys, unknowingly the author felt attracted towards the two boys. My companion spoke to the boys. So companion, who is the companion here? The driver who is driving the author. So he spoke to the two boys and discovered that they were brothers. The two boys were brothers here. Their names are Nicola, and the elder was 13, and Jacopo, who barely came up to the door handle of the car, was nearly 12. We bought their biggest basket, then set off towards town. Finally, as they got attracted towards the boys, they purchased the basket, the fruit basket from the boys, and they again started towards the town. Next morning, coming out of a hotel, we saw our friends bent over shoe shine boxes beside the fountain in the public square doing a brisk business. So finally, the author and the driver reached the town. That day is over. The next day morning, when the author came out into the street and saw these two boys working very seriously, polishing the shoes of the people. We watched for a few moments, then as trays slackened, we went over. They greeted us with friendly faces. For some time, they were standing there and observing the boys. So the author and the driver stood there itself and observed the boys for some time. And when the work reduced, means the busyness when it got reduced, they went near the boys. The boys wished them, I thought you picked fruit for a living, I said. The author told the boys because previously when the author saw the boys, they were selling the fruits. So the author thought that their business is selling fruits. But now the author observed the boys polishing the shoes. So he expressed his astonishment, telling that I thought you have picked up fruit selling for your livelihood. We do many things, sir, Nicola answered seriously. He glanced at us hopefully. Often we show visitors through the town to Juliet's tomb and other places of interest. Then the boy revealed to the author, telling that not only these two, sir, we do many other things in our life, just like taking the people to visit different places of Verona, like Juliet's tomb. Alright, I smiled. You take us along. So, when the author listened to the boys telling that they will take the people around the places, so he asked the boys to take them also. As we made the rounds, my interest was again provoked by their remarkable demeanor. So, here you have to know the meaning of a word demeanor. So, demeanor means appearance and behavior. Appearance and so as those people moved around the town, the author got impressed with the demeanor, means the appearance and the behavior of the boys. They were childish enough and in many ways quite artless. So those two are small boys, they are childish enough and at the same time they are artless. Artless means innocent. The boys are not only childish, they are also innocent. Jacopo was lively as a squirrel. Nicola's smile was steady and engaging. Yet in both these boyish faces, there was a seriousness which was far beyond their years. So, to look at them, they are childish, they are innocent. But the author has studied a sort of seriousness behind their faces, which is hiding behind them. In the week which followed, we saw them frequently, for they proved extremely useful to us. So, in the following week, the author stayed there itself in the same place for so many days. So, in the next days, the author observed, means the author has come across the boys number of times. If we wanted a pack of American cigars or seats for the opera or the name of a good restaurant, Nicola and Jacopo could be relied upon to satisfy our needs. The author, whatever, because he's a new person who came here to visit the places, he is not familiar with all the places in that town. So whenever he want anything or he wanted to know about any place, as these two boys were staying in the same place, they supported the author. They used to give the information to the author, whichever is needed to the author. What struck one most was their willingness to work. The author got very much impressed because with these two boys, the only reason for that attractiveness is the willingness of the boys to work. Whenever they were assigned with any work, they will come forward to work. So, they are willing to work. During these summer days, under the hot sun, they shined shoes, sold fruit, hawked newspapers, conducted tourists round the town and ran errands. So, they are, even though it is very hot summer, the two boys were doing different types of works, just like shining the shoes, selling the fruits, roaming in the town along with the tourists, and they also ran for errands. Errands means a short journey undertaking to take the things from one place to another place. So, these are the different works which the boys used to do. One night we came upon them in the windy and deserted square, resting on the stone pavement beneath the lights. One day, when the author is roaming on the roads, late night, he observed the two boys resting there on a pavement. Nicholas sat upright, tied. A bundle of unsold newspapers lay at his feet. Jacopo, his head resting upon his brother's shoulder, was asleep. It was nearly midnight. So, it is almost the midnight. The two boys were resting on a pavement with a bundle of unsold newspapers. And the author, while moving on the road, he observed these two boys. "Why are you out so late, Nicola?" "Waiting for the last bus from Padua. We shall sell all our newspapers when it comes in." Immediately seeing the boys, the author questioned them. What are they doing there on the pavement late night? So for the question asked by the author, Nicola gave a reply that they are waiting for the last bus which is going to come from Padua, and they wanted to sell that unsold newspapers what are lying with them. "Must you work so hard? You both look rather tired." So listening to that, author felt bad and he questioned them, "Is it that needed for you to work this hard? Already you are looking so tired." "We are not complaining, sir." Immediately the boys replied to the author, telling that they are not complaining, they are just telling what the work they have and why are they sitting on the pavement at that time. "But next morning, when I went over to the fountain to have my shoes shined, I said, 'Nicola, the way you and Jacopo work, you must earn quite a bit. You spend nothing on clothes, you eat little enough. When I see you have a meals, it's usually black bread and figs. Tell me, what do you do with your money?" Next day morning, when the author went near the fountain, he observed the two boys and questioned them, as they are doing number of works and they are not spending anything what they are earning. So he questioned them, because whenever he observed them, they are not spending their money for their clothing or not even on their food. They are eating very little. They are taking only the bread and few figs. "So tell me, what do you do with your money?" So the author questioned the boys what they were doing with the money, what all they are earning. As they are doing so many works, they might be having a good income and they are not spending on their basic needs like buying the clothes or their food. So he got a doubt. The author got a doubt and questioned the boys on what are they spending the money and what are they doing with the money. He colored deeply under his sunburn, then grew pale. He looked to the ground. So when he questioned the boys like that, their face became pale. They did not speak anything. They just bent their head and they were looking at the ground. "You must be saving up to emigrate to America," I suggested. He looked at me and sideways spoke with an effort. So finally, as the boys are not giving any reply, the author said maybe they are saving all the money what are they earning just to emigrate to America. Here we'll see the meaning of the word emigrate. So emigrate is a word which the author used here, and it means moving to another country, to settle down there itself, moving from the own country to foreign country to settle down there permanently. I suggested. He looked at me sideways, spoke with an effort. So listening to that, the boys were looking sideways and finally they spoke to him. "We should greatly like to go to the States, but there at present we have other plans." Finally, the boys gave a reply. They told, "Of course we like to go to other countries, but now at present we have other plans." This clearly reveals that there is a particular purpose, particular reason behind the works the boys are doing. What plans? Immediately the author also questioned the boys what all the plans they have. He smiled uncomfortably. "Just plans, sir," he answered in a low voice. So immediately the author is very eager, enthusiastic to know about the plans of the boys. He questioned what all the plans they have. They said they did not reveal actually about the plans what they have. They just simply said just plans, sir, that's all, and their voice is also very low. Well, I said, we are leaving on Monday. Is there anything I can do for you before we go? Finally, the man told, so I am going to leave this place on Monday, and he wanted to help the boys as they are very hardworking. He wanted to help them in one or the other ways. So, the author questioned the boys or asked the boys whether he can be useful to them in one or the another ways. Nicola shook his head, but suddenly Jacopo said, sir, he burst out, every Sunday we make a visit to the country to Poletta, 30 kilometers from here. Usually we hire bicycles, but tomorrow, since you're so kind, you might send us in your car. So, immediately after listening to the author, Nicola, he shook his head. He said, no, we don't need any help. But Jacopo, he came out, he bursted to the author telling that every Sunday they will visit a place named Poletta, which is 30 kilometers away from the place where they stay. So regularly whenever they go, they used to hire the bicycles, but this time, as the author is so kind, this boy requested the author to drop them in his car. I had already told Logie he might have the Sunday off. However, I answered, I will drive you myself. Logie is the driver of the author. But as the author doesn't know that these boys request them to take them to another place, this author gave leave to Logie as it is Sunday. So, the author mentioning this to the boys, he said, okay, I will drive you to the place where you want me to take. There was a pause. Nicola was glaring at his young brother in vexation. We could not think of troubling you, sir. Actually, Nicola is anti to this because he doesn't want to trouble the author. So, he is looking a bit in a serious way towards his brother, because as the driver is on leave, the author need to drive them by his own. So, with a vexation, he is looking seriously towards his brother. It won't be any trouble. When Nicola mentioned that they are troubling the author, immediately the author denied it. He said there is no trouble for him. He bit his lip, then in a rather put out tone, he said, very well. So here there is a phrase put out, which is the meaning of the phrase put out is annoyed. Nicola initially, even though he did not accept, finally he accepted the proposal of the author. The following afternoon, we drove to the tiny village set high upon the hillside. I imagined that our destinations would be some humble dwellings, but directed by Jacopo, we drew up at a large red-roofed villa surrounded by a high stone wall. I could scarcely believe my eyes, and before I could recover breath, my two passengers had leaped from the car. So, they are thinking, the author is thinking that they are going to a humble dwelling place, but they reached, according to the instruction given by Jacopo to the author, they drew up to a large red-roofed villa, and this villa is surrounded by high stone wall. So finally, immediately after reaching the place, the two boys, they leaped from the car. Here, leaped. So both the boys, they leaped from the car immediately. Leaped means move quickly. Move quickly and suddenly. Move quickly and suddenly. So this reveals that something which is very interesting to the boys, is there in that place. So immediately after reaching the place, they leaped out of the car and they moved from there. We shall not be long, sir, perhaps only an hour. Maybe you would like to go to the cave in the village for a drink. They disappeared beyond the corner of the wall. After coming out of the car, the boys told the author that they don't take much time. They will be back just within 1 hour. And telling like this, they also advised the author to go to a cave in the village to have a drink. Telling like this, they moved towards a corner of a wall.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.